Good morning and welcome to Today in L.A. My name's Mike Amos, and of course with me today, ladies and gentlemen, is the ultra successful football and baseball coach at Pike Liberal Arts, Russ Hickson. Good to see you, my friend.
Sir, good to see you.
And then of course Bill Rice to my far side, and we're ready for some baseball coming up Thursday. Is that right?
Yeah, actually tomorrow, Wednesday.
Tomorrow.
Yes,
We'll do it tomorrow. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, moved up a day.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
We're going to play it on Wednesday?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why was the reason for that?
Well, it was originally scheduled to move up to Wednesday.
Yeah.
We just kind of had a misprint on the original schedule.
Well, good.
But,
Good.
so,
The sooner the better. Sooner the better. Is that right?
That's right. We're ready to play.
And then, of course, Rice here has got a little company of his own. He's got a young nephew who's quite a left-handed pitcher.
Yeah,
is that right?
He is. Yeah, we're excited about Will.
Then, of course, we're talking about the Pike Liberal Arts Patriots, and they are going after. And of course, there's two. They play this weekend, and it's what they call the semifinals. Is that right?
That's right.
And then the finals, of course, is the next week, and that championship will be played at the pro.
It's at Patterson Field in Montgomery.
Oh, you're going to play
Yes,
at
sir.
Patterson Field
Yes,
in
sir.
Montgomery, old historic Patterson Field, where I know I've covered several world state championships, that were played in that old historic stadium, and it's going to be a beautiful place to hopefully play for a championship next week. But right now, we've got business to take care of.
That's right.
Is it Bessemer that comes in here?
That's right. Yes, sir.
Well, Birmingham itself has got a lot of baseball players, and if Bessemer wanted to, they could have their pick of anybody they wanted. Is that right?
They can. They get some kids in. They do a good job, and they've got a really talented team. So we're expecting a good fight.
Of course, you've got the target on you. There's no question about it. And do you like that or not?
Yeah, I think if you have a target on you, it means that you're good and you have a little bit of talent, and that's a good thing. You'd rather have it on you than away from you.
No question about it. And we're really looking forward to this tomorrow, and also, and I like it. The earlier, the better. And we'll be talking to Russ, about his team, and also would love for you to call in and ask questions to him. And it's a big week.
Let me ask you this, Coach. How did you get the name Rush? Because that's interesting to me. Because I have a brother named Rush, and there's not many Rushes.
Yeah, no, there's not. It's unique. It's my great grandmother's maiden name.
Oh, okay.
So it's in the family. So,
Oh, really?
And so that's kind of how. But it's not. You don't hear it often. I enjoy having it because most of the time I tell people the name,
I think you're saying Russ.
That's
probably.
right. That's right. Yeah. So it's a unique name, but it kind of fits. I feel like.
Well, your name is Russ Hickson.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Now,
like Rush Limbaugh,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
until Rush Limbaugh, it was a name you almost never heard. My brother Rush, same deal. It was his my grandmother's maiden name. She was a Rushton, and Rush was short for Rushton.
Yeah. Now we get in pretty deep. What was your grandmother's maiden name?
Her last name was Rush. I'm not sure her full name.
The last name Russ?
Uh-huh.
That's a very unusual.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, were they raised in Bullock County?
Yeah, don't quote me on that. Yeah.
And of course, your dad or your granddad, quite a man in his own right, and very low spoken, and of course, I'm sure you've sat there and heard him tell a lot about baseball and sports in Pike County.
Oh yeah, I owe him a ton of credit for where I'm at, but just getting to hear him talk about his success as a player, and then he wanted to be a coach as well. And then he ended up coming back to the farm. I think he was just a few credit hours short of graduating to be a coach. So,
well, it's just, and I bet he would have been a good one too. And of course, all of Pike County over the years have enjoyed playing baseball. I know your daddy played baseball at Troy and played football at Troy.
My granddad.
Granddad.
Yes, sir.
Granddad.
Yes, sir.
Don't let me Get me wrong there.
Don't give my dad that much credit.
Yeah. But you know, I can remember a lot of the days of great baseball here in Troy and Pike County, and you've established quite a legacy so far with your teams out here at Pike. Now, tell us a little bit about your team this year, and how does it compare with some of the great teams you had in the past?
It's a good group. We have a lot of seniors. I think we're graduating 9 seniors. So it's anytime you have that many seniors on a baseball team, and especially a small school, it's a good thing. Yeah. I think we pitch the ball pretty well, and you know, when we are swinging it right, we're pretty good there too. But we lean on some of those seniors to lead, not only on the field but off the field as well. And they've kind of done a really good job with that, and they've taken the younger ones under their belt and kind of held them to our standard of play and how we go about things. And
well, today I would like to recognize as many of these young people as possible, you know, and we'll even come up with a starting lineup for tomorrow night's game against Bessemer. And of course, Bessemer, one of the largest, probably the largest school in the province, Alabama Independent School Association, and have got pretty much a good tradition of baseball themselves. And tell us a little bit about your opponent.
Well, Bessemer, they have a really good team. They've got their starting pitcher. I expect to see game 1 has only walked 6 kids all year in like 50+ innings.
Oh man! So that means he's not going to hurt himself.
That's right. He's going to throw a lot of strikes. He's going to compete in the zone. They've got a kid that throws game 2. He's a big 6'4" kid that is signed with Alabama State in Montgomery. So he'll be good. Their second baseman signed with Alabama State in Montgomery. They got a couple other junior college signees on the team. They play hard. They can swing it up and down the lineup. So I expect them to come in and be a big challenge for us. And, you know, if you don't play good ball, you can definitely slip up and lose. So.
Well, you know, when we call it slip up, you know, mostly everybody from the get-go of this season, you know, Pike's got the target on their chest, and you know, why not? You won 2 state championships in a row. And you almost won. You could have almost claimed a 4th one. Is that right?
Yeah, I think we've actually won. I think the last from 19, 20 was the COVID year, and then 21. I'm trying to think if they won 18. I believe they won 18 as well. So, but you have a, you know.
So you've actually won 3 straight.
That's correct. Yeah, and the 20 could have been the 4th, which I was not here in 20, but they say 20's team was one of the better ones before it got shut down.
That's right, and that would have been a great one. That would have been 4 state championships. But if going into tomorrow, what are we going to call it? 4th or 3rd?
As far as round,
and I don't know 3rd championship.
Championship,
I know it's round, but
we'll call it the 4th. Going for the 4th.
Okay. Going for the 4th, and of course a big battle in right here at your home ballpark, which I call it. I've done several games from there. You know, that televised it on Troy Cable. But it is a hitter's ballpark.
Absolutely.
If you get the ball up, so that means the pitcher's got to get the ball down. Is that right?
That's exactly right. It's a smaller park, especially in left field, where our big wall is. So if you don't pitch the ball down, you have a chance to lose a couple.
You coach there and you play there. If you get it up in the air, a lot of times it will blow out of the ballpark. Is that right?
That's right. I even hit a couple home runs. That tells you anything.
Well. Let's go to our phones. I got a good idea who this is. Good morning. You're on today in L.A. How you doing?
Anything exciting going on in Pike County today?
Well, I'll tell you how exciting it is that we've got Rush Hickson on our show, Mike, the defending state champion baseball team at Pike Liberal Arts. They're going for 3 or 4 more.
Well, that upstages the president any day.
Yeah. What time the president supposed to get here today?
I don't know. I know it's been getting a lot of national pub about Troy, Alabama, and the Javelin Minstrels at Lockheed Martin. So I guess it's just a quick photo op, and it'll be on the plane and heading out of town.
Yeah. You know, I'm wondering if they'll fly into Montgomery and then on the big jet, and then maybe hit a helicopter and come the rest of the way. Wouldn't you think that'd be what they do?
I have no idea. How the
They didn't check it out with me before the game.
the president will travel today. I would imagine it's first class all the way.
Yeah. All right. Of course, are you prepared to talk to this outstanding baseball coach at Pike Liberal Arts, Rush Hickson?
Yeah, that's little Johnny Manziel used to call him.
Yeah, that's right.
That used to be a compliment. I don't know if it is anymore.
Well, he's playing on a team. He's playing on a team in Florida. I know that.
Okay.
Did y'all have a couple of guys commit yesterday in football? Somebody to Miles and somewhere else?
Yes, we had 2 signed yesterday. One to Bethany College in Kansas, and then to Miles College in Birmingham.
Yeah, I saw where the kid going to Miles is coached by Ronald McKinnon, who was the great linebacker out of Elba, died that played for UNA and then played in the pros for like 12 years. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the more the better. These kids, they deserve it. They work so hard, and they want to be able to play at the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Bill Rice is ready to answer your questions, and of course, our good friend Rush Hickson.
Well, I want to tell you that people need to know that Bessemer and Pike Liberal Arts played for the state championship last year, so in the finals, and this is a good rivalry. So you know Bessemer is good. They were in the state championship series last year as well. So they want some revenge, Coach.
Yeah, there's a little build up around the game, that's for sure. They had a good team last year. They were headlined by a kid that signed out of Alabama that we had to beat in the first game. And they got a lot of new faces on that team this year. But, like you said, it's kind of a rivalry we built last year with them. And, I expect them to be very hungry to come in and kind of avenge that loss last year.
Hey, did y'all have another guy that's going to Navy off the football team?
He's not. He's been offered. He is not. He's a junior. So he's picked up Navy, Army, and Marshall in the last month. So
who was that?
What is Troy? What is Troy waiting on?
Is it that big lineman?
No. He's a defensive back / receiver. We're hoping Troy will get involved in the mix, and they have. They've had some contact. So I would love to see him stay home for sure.
What's his name?
Ian Foster.
Ian Foster.
Yeah, he's really special athlete.
You mentioned Foster, and you can almost got a football right next to his name.
That's right. That's right.
Because these Fosters have had great teams, great people, players that have played at different colleges all around the country.
I tell you what, if Marshall's offering out of the Sun Belt, Troy needs to be offering.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it would be a good offer for him. I know he'd love the opportunity to play at Troy. His brother actually walked on at Troy and made the team, so it could be a good opportunity for him to play with his brother as well.
Well, he's a junior. Oh, he'll be a senior next year.
He'll be a senior next year, yes, sir.
All right, Mike. Since you came on late on our show, the championship, or not the championship, but the semifinals will be played out at Pike Liberal Arts School starting tomorrow.
At what time?
Is the best of 2 tomorrow?
We'll play a doubleheader starting at 5 p.m. tomorrow, and then the second game after, and an if game on Thursday at 3:30.
Boy, that's going to be some
What
good
do you
days.
do? You just flip a coin and say, I'll pitch Jeff Coat or I'll pitch Nelson? How's it work?
We're going to keep the same rotation of Jeff Coat first and Nelson second. The good thing about playing a doubleheader, both of them will see the mound no matter what, as long as they're healthy, and you like what both of them bring to the table. So,
yeah. Well, let's start off with your lineup with Jeff Coat. Let's go with Jeff Coat, right-handed pitcher.
Right-handed pitcher, yes, sir.
All right, tell us about him.
Really good frame. He's 6'2", 6'3" kid. Throws the ball really well. His last outing, he was up to 95 or 6 times.
Oh boy.
He's worked really hard to transform himself into an everyday pitcher and not just a thrower. But he features a slider and a curveball with a changeup. Not saying all of them work all the time, but he's got them. And he competes. He's extremely competitive. He's the type of kid that you're not going to take off the mound. If you ask him if he's done, no, he wants more. And really the kind of kid you want on the mound and going in must-win games.
And, of course, you feel like he's got 3 good pitches?
For sure. And there's some days he throws a fourth. He goes slider, curveball. He can throw both of those, and then some days on the 3 work.
Correct me if I'm wrong. A curveball is coming over the top of the head.
Yes,
and the slider is coming this way. Is that right? 3/4?
That's right. You try to get more on the curveball. You try to get more depth this way. On the slider, you try to get more sideways.
And does he have a changeup like his teammate had?
It's not quite that good. But he's got one.
He's got one.
Yes, sir. And it can be really good at times.
You know, I watched your career, and I watched you play. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a real perfect indication that you don't have to be big to throw it 90 miles an hour. You were clocked many times at 90 miles an hour as a pitcher at Troy.
Yes, sir. I credit all that to God. So
I was going to say, is this God given the ability to throw 90 miles an hour?
I think so. I mean, I think you do some things to help that a little bit, but at the end of the day, you're not going to do it if God doesn't have it planned for your body.
Rice is looking over you, man. There ain't no way that guy.
No, I believe it. I believe it.
But a lot of it has to do with your legs. Is that right?
That's right. There's a lot of different variables when it comes, and somebody's may be more leg usage, or somebody may have a quicker arm, or things of that nature, and then some people just might wake up and just have it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you know, and you know, like you said, like we talked about, you played at Troy, and a great.
Let me ask you: Do you throw batting practice? Do you still get out there and pitch?
Oh yeah, I try to get out there anytime I can, and my body doesn't allow it as much as it used to, but I'll get out there and try to compete with them and pitch to them.
Well, your brother was a pitcher too, so y'all got several arms that you can.
We all think we still can do it, but we can't. We can't quite do it.
That's pretty sad. You're saying your body's shutting down. What are you, like 25?
25. I said the same thing when this whole getting old thing. I didn't believe, and now I'm starting to believe it more and more.
Oh my God!
Our show's brought to you today,
you got the rest
of course.
Of your life, man. I'm 46. I can't imagine me trying to get out there and throw bat in practice.
Yeah, well, an old man named Hoyt Wilhelm that threw that was still pitching at 46. He threw knuckleball, so didn't not wear and tear on you. Yeah. Did you throw a knuckleball?
No, sir. I couldn't.
Have you ever seen anybody throw a knuckleball?
I've seen a couple, not very good ones, but they can throw it.
Especially for strikes.
My neighbor here in Grayton was a great knuckleball pitcher, R.A. Dickey. Won a Cy Young with the Toronto Blue Jays, and then pitched for the Braves. I see him all the time down here. He was a great knuckleballer.
Yeah.
Knuckleballer, it so happens that one lives right down the street from him.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, this show's brought to you by Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks. And, of course, Jason, I know, will be out at the game tomorrow. And, of course, right now, there's all kinds of great deals at Premier. Remember, nobody beats a Premier deal, nobody. And of course,
I saw his brother Jared was the salesman of the month, selling 15 units at Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep. So he's the MVP of the month.
Well, listen, I can hear him right now. Said, Jason, if you don't let me sell it at that price, I'm gonna call Daddy. I'm being facetious. Jason, of course, evidently calls the final shot, and he's called it 15 times this month, Mike. That's pretty good, isn't it?
So we talked about Jeffcoat. Everybody knows who we're going to talk about next, and Drew Nelson. Tell us a little bit about Drew.
He's as advertised. He's when he's in the zone, which he is most of the time, he's really, really good. And the thing about Drew, some people know it, some don't, but his work routine of how much work he puts in at the field is borderline crazy. I mean, he's there all the time. He has a very strict routine he follows. Even when we're not practicing, he's up there doing something, whether it's lifting weights or hitting on the field or throwing. So it didn't happen by chance. He kind of set a goal at a young age to chase, and he's been able to do it. But people see the final product from him, but they don't see the hours. He's missed a lot of social time with friends and family to be at the field to build himself to where he's at.
Isn't that amazing? So when you ride out to the ballpark and you see his car sitting over, that means he's working out.
You'll see it there most days. If he's he finds time to hit just about every day.
Coach, I see the pitchers running before the games in the big leagues, but pitchers more so than other players, they've got to really be in good shape, don't they?
They do, and it comes more down to the first, second inning. You may be fine. Come to that 6th, 7th, you got to have your legs under you, and you got to really rely on the legs. And then late in the season, you want to be in shape to have your body endure what's.
So you make them all run.
But you look at him, and of course I've looked at a lot of them. Brian Meadows, I've looked at some of the greats to come out of Pike County, And but what he does, he's got great legs. Does that mean he works them a lot, or what?
He does. If you could see a video of him squatting in the weight room, it's very impressive. He's extremely strong, and he works out really
400
hard.
or 500?
Yeah, it's probably right at that 400 clip at least.
Oh boy!
He can
that
really
means he
move some
sticks
weight.
400 on his back.
And
right?
he's a really good all-around athlete, isn't he? I mean,
He is, yeah.
I never saw him play, but I understand he's a great basketball player. I think he played football for a while and could have kept playing. So all-around athlete, huh?
Yeah, he was, and he's got the kind of the athlete's mindset that you want, and he's very ultra competitive as well. So he's got a really good mix, and he's had a really special career at Pike since starting in the 8th grade, and obviously we're gonna hate to see him go.
He's been on the varsity since the 8th grade.
He pitched playoff innings as an 8th grader.
Well, I've called championship games in Tuscaloosa when he's pitching. He was an 8th grader.
Yep, that's right.
And of course, he's outstanding.
So is he definitely going to probably go to Auburn? I mean, or has there been several scouts at every game, and there's a chance he'll get drafted early, or what's the projections on Drew?
Yeah, well, there's been a scout I think at every game he's thrown this year, and some at some of the games he's just swung it as well. I anticipate him to go to Auburn. I do think he has a chance to get drafted. It'll totally depend on the amount, obviously, if he takes it. He loves Auburn. He loves what they've got going on. I think he really wants to go in there and contribute to trying to win a SEC championship.
When he's at Auburn, he's right around a future Hall of Famer.
That's right.
And he's a very approachable guy.
And he really loves the staff. He's big into the commitment, I think, and I fully expect him to go to Auburn and help them, continue to win and have success.
Now, tell us what makes him a great pitcher.
I think the ability, his changeup's elite. His changeup can pitch in the SEC tomorrow. And then now he's featuring. He's been up to 93 this year from the left side. He usually has really good control of the zone. Throws a lot of strikes, and he's just extremely competitive. He's developed the breaking ball. Fun story about him, because a lot of kids like to throw breaking balls early. Drew didn't start throwing a true breaking ball really until last year. And as a junior, I mean, he threw a little bit as a sophomore.
Was that from his own accord or from the coaches?
He just wanted to. Him and his dad decided they wanted to wait and not put the stress on the arm to do that.
And which let's don't leave David out. He is a father who is an outstanding coach.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you see Drew at the field, you're going to see David. So he's thrown a lot of batting practice.
And even during tax season, he's the guy that does my taxes.
So how do these guys field their position? That's also important. Are they good fielders?
Absolutely. Both of them field it pretty well, Jeff Code and Nelson. They get off the mound. They like fielding their position, and they're two guys I have a lot of trust in to field it. Drew's probably got a little more ability to field, but Jeff Code does a really good job as well.
We've talked on the show that Drew is also a excellent hitter and fielder, and we've talked about the possibility that he might be an everyday player at Auburn. Is that possible, or do you know yet?
They have told him he's going to get the chance in the fall when he gets there to do both, and see which one works out, or if he could do both. Speaking from I tried to do both as a junior college player. I'm not near the athlete he was or is, but it's a hard deal. He's good enough to do both. It's just a matter of where he fits into their scheme, I think. So
is Auburn's staff still Thompson's the head coach, Gabe Gross is I guess the hitting coach, and then Hudson's the pitching coach? Is everybody still there?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
And
okay. And then as far as I guess Jeff Code is going to Pensacola State right now. Is that where he's going?
That's correct. And the Panhandle Conference which the conference he's going to, the Florida Junior College Conference, is one of the best in the nation. So if he'll go down there and have success, he'll have a lot of opportunities after that.
Mm-hmm.
But now, how far along can he go and with the notion that he could sign a pro contract?
Well, I guess until that day that he can go until draft day, and if they take him there and it's high enough that he wants to take it, he can definitely sign on the dotted line. But I know Auburn wants him to make it to Auburn, and I think he wants to go to Auburn. So.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
How's that work with a junior college in baseball? I mean, could you play 1 year and then go to a Division I school after 1 year, or is it most kids usually stay 2, I guess?
Most stay 2, but you definitely can leave after a year. The way it usually works is it totally depends on the relationship you have with other schools. Like, for instance, some schools don't like burning bridges by taking junior college players after 1 year. They don't want to burn bridges with the coaching staff. But if that coaching staff is good with the player leaving after a year, which most are because they want what's best for the kid, then they can definitely leave after a year if somebody else wants them. Because we see it happen often that way.
Is Pierce still coaching down at Chipola?
I don't think so. No, sir. I think he was. I think not this year, but last year was last season down there.
Of course, Chipola, one of the great programs in the nation, right there in Mariana. And then he's going is a great program in Pensacola.
That's right. You got that one, and then Northwest Florida is really good. Tallahassee Community College, and
and then the junior college in Panama City is a pretty
Gulf Coast.
Gulf Coast.
Yes, sir.
That's like you said. That's premium.
Big, strong baseball.
That's as good a junior college ball you'll find.
It is. It really is. It's the best in the nation, and they do a really good job of turning out Division I and pro players every year.
All right, I know that
your former player Davis Allen's having a good career at Shelton State. Is he going to try to go Division I after this, you think?
I haven't talked to Dave in a little bit, but I know he wanted to. He had a really, really good last year, and this year he's kind of caught back up to where he was. So I'm hoping he'll get the chance to do that because he can. He's got the ability to do it as well.
The first thing I noticed about him, he can run.
Absolutely.
He can.
How is Stallworth doing this year? Have you?
He's done well. He's gotten to throw a lot of conference games for them. They're not having the season they'd like to have at Southern Union, but he's done well, and we're continuing to follow him. And I think
we know that Stallworth is at a very good program at Southern Union. Who anybody else from Troy there?
At Southern Union right now, I think he's the only one at Southern Union. We've got a couple at CAC, which is where I went my second year, and then we got another one at Shelton State with Javon Christian. And he's having a really good year.
How good a player is he?
He's got a chance to be a draft arm. I mean, he's really brought into what he's doing.
What position does he play?
Right-handed pitcher.
Right-handed pitcher.
Yes, sir.
And the ball moves when he throws it.
Yeah, he's got a really special. He's one of those God-given special arm talents.
We talk about a lot of things, and of course you pitched and was a very good one. Do you ever talk about the ball moving? What's the hardest thing to hit, a slider or a moving fastball?
Oh, whichever one they don't think's coming.
but the one that some pitchers, they just have a ball that just naturally moves.
Yeah, that's right. And that, you can create movement, and then some people will just naturally, with their hand stroke and arm stroke, have more movement than others. But the slider, out of those two, if you can throw a good slider, then you've got something.
I hear the word.
The greatest reliever of all time was Mariano Rivera of the Yankees. He threw a cutter, didn't he?
That was my next word was. You used to hear all the time a cut fastball.
Yeah, and you'll see there's a lot of people that have had a ton of success. If you throw a good cutter, it's really hard to hit because you're sitting fastball. It looks like a fastball the whole time, and then it just slides out of the way. And it's a really good pitch.
Back to Drew and the unbelievable pitch, the changeup. Now he throws I wish I got a baseball in my car, but I wish I had brought it with me. How does he grip the fastball?
He'll go four seam most of the time.
Yeah,
he throws a two seam, but he tries to go a lot of four seam. Because he's able to throw with that velocity, and he can.
So he throws almost with all his fingers.
He'll go those two over the side of the ball, and he'll get a lot of momentum through it, and he'll.
Does he throw his changeup?
He'll go circle change on the changeup. Yeah, and he's been working on that changeup since he was 8 years old.
I know you're a baseball man, and of course you won, but just a while ago that you were pitching, at the college level, at the big college level at that. Do you marvel at some? I mean, everybody. A lot of people can hold the ball that way. Yeah. A lot of people can do this and do that. But how does he be so effective?
I think just over time, the amount of work he put in, and he knows exactly what he wants to do with it. It's not. He's not just throwing. I use this phrase all the time: pitch, don't throw, because pitching is so much different than just getting up there and throwing. But he's so far advanced from where I was at that age, as far as just mentality. I got up there when I was that age, and I just tried to throw it by you and throw. Exactly. He actually gets up there with the thought process behind what he's doing.
Well, I tell you, it's really something. And of course, all right, we get by the first two. Well, all right, let's just say our two pitchers go out and lights out. We're in good shape for the next week. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. Well, if we go, we've got those two set in stone for our 1 and 2 games. And then just depending on how the game flow goes, when we've got a couple guys sitting back in the bullpen that we can go to at any time, and then we have, we can go to a game 3 starter as well. So we like what we've got on the pitching staff.
I went to the final game last year, and I was real impressed by your catcher. I guess it's the same guy. He's real important to you, isn't he?
As a pitching guy, the catcher is the most important position on the field in my eyes. And our catcher is a sophomore this year. He catches the ball as good as any we've had. And
what's his name?
John Lott.
John Lott.
John Lott, yes, sir. He caught last year. We had 4 kids in our rotation that now are all either at college or signed to college. And as a freshman, he caught all of them the whole year. And he just catches the ball really well.
He's a sophomore. He has 2 more years in high school.
Yes, sir. Yeah. And he's another one that works really hard at his craft of catching. And I know he wants to develop his game other places as well, but his just ability to catch and control a game is really important.
So you can see on down the road another college prospect.
I fully expect him to sign somewhere. Yes, sir.
We're going to take a short break.
What about that Rice kid, Rice's nephew? How's he?
Hey, I love Will. Will's come a long way, and he's thrown a ton of important innings for us this year. So he's one of those that would come out of the pen pretty early if needed.
Another thing about Will is he's just got to take time and get his body where he wants to be. Big and strong.
That's right. And he's bought into the weight room. He's added a lot of weight since last year, and I think that's only going to continue to be the case.
Isn't it great that the school and the talking about the administration and people like that, they've got to be behind your program, and it seems like everything is where it's supposed to be.
That's right. Well, if you don't have the right people around you, it doesn't work. So
we'll take a short break, and we'll be right back.
It's easy. 29 down and drive. That's 29 down and you drive today. Or Premier will double your tax refund on a new vehicle purchase. Tax season is car season. 29 down or $99 a month and drive today. Or double your tax refund. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
A personal touch. A high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
It's Ford Truck Month. America, you know what to do. Now's the time to get after the best deals on Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks, 45 years straight. Also, great offers on Ford Ranger and the new Ford Maverick. Ford Truck Month is here, so let's get after it. Get 0 for 60 plus up to $1,000 bonus cash plus a no-charge 3-year Ford Protect Premium Maintenance Plan on F-150.
It's easy. 29 down and drive. That's 29 down and you drive today. Or Premier will double your tax refund on a new vehicle purchase. Tax season is car season. 29 down or $99 a month and drive today. Or double your tax refund. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Hey, it works. Whatever works.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen. Brought to you by Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks on the bypass. And man, I tell you, they're selling cars like hotcakes, and man, and they're delicious. I'm gonna drop by. Huh?
You said they're delicious?
What? I mean, I'm talking about those donuts I'm gonna take to them.
Okay.
But we do appreciate their support of our show, and also Piggly Wiggly, and he's a good supporter. Steve does a wonderful job, and we appreciate him. All right, back to our show, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Rush Hickson, the outstanding baseball coach at Pike Liberal Arts School, and I know a lot of things have been going through you. We're gonna go get our scheduling situation for next year later on, but
let's go through the rest of the starting lineup.
Yeah. All right. First of all, another thing I want to say about our pitcher is he plays right field when he's not playing the pitcher. I bet he has thrown out a few people trying to stretch a double to a single.
Yeah, he has. He's got a special arm from out there as well, so it's a really good weapon to have in the
outfield.
Does
he throw strikes to third?
Oh, yeah.
So, and now another thing, too, he's big and strong. A lot of people don't look at it, but He weighs over 200 pounds, wouldn't you say?
He's probably right, a tick under it.
Yeah,
but with that frame, is a good weight.
And but so he got great power. He can hit a lot of home runs. Is that right?
Yeah. His batting practice rounds are really impressive.
Would you think he's an exceptional hitter for a high school kid?
I do. I think his ability to understand the zone. The only time he gets out is most times when he gets himself out, when he chases bad pitches.
So he's the type kid that he'll take the outside pitch away from him. Is that right?
He's got power to all parts of the field.
Yeah, I can hear it right now. He's got power to all fields. But and of course, all right. So he'll be at right field. All right, give us other line.
So he goes to, in game 1. Jeff Coke has pitched. John Lott.
And we're not taking anything away from Jeff Coke. He's an outstanding pitcher.
Absolutely. John Lott behind the plate. Jaden Jordan, third base. Kason Eubanks, shortstop. Casey Bradford, second. Skylar Kidd, first. Arden Weiser, left. Darrell Lee, center field. And Drew in right field. And then Payne Jeff Coat has been DHing for his brother Press.
Okay.
So,
all right, now 2 of those guys really ring a bell. One of them is Lee, the center fielder. Is that right?
Yes.
And the other one is your shortstop. And now those 2 already. I know one of them is already committed to Georgia Southern.
That's right.
Is that right?
Shortstop signed with Georgia Southern. And then Darrell signed with Coastal Alabama South in Bay Minette.
Yeah. And he is a fine baseball player.
He is, very exceptional athlete.
And
so does Eubanks hit with power?
He does. He actually, he's got 5 home runs on the year. He probably goes to the opposite field as good as any player I've seen at the high school level around here lately. It's pretty impressive.
It's because most everybody wants to get up there and pull the ball, and and sometimes you can't pull the ball when the ball's on the outside corner.
That's right.
But now
he was also your starting quarterback on the football team, wasn't he?
That's correct. He's one of those, and then he was the lead in the grease play for the school. So.
Oh, really? Have they done that already?
Yes, sir.
I've heard. I heard it was really good.
It was. He was singing up and dancing and doing that, but he's one of those kids that can kind of just do everything, just an all-American.
He seems like he made an easy adjustment in the Pike Liberal Arts School when he came over.
I would like for Troy Cable to get a copy of that play and run it on our cable. That'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they did a really good job with it, so I think it'd be really cool to do that for sure.
And now,
so he's going to Georgia Southern, and will he play short at Georgia Southern? Is that the plan there?
That's the plan. I'm not sure what they have coming back, but I know he can play shortstop at the Division I level. I think I could see him starting at second and then transitioning over to shortstop through time.
Well, did Troy
I saw in the standings, Georgia Southern's having a really good year.
They are.
Troy's having a really good year too.
Yeah, that Georgia Southern, when I was at Troy every year, they beat us my senior year to put us out. And then my junior year, they were in the semifinals as well. So they've had a lot of success in the Sun Belt.
Now, okay, so that's
that starting lineup. How many are seniors?
Out of that starting lineup, we have third, short, first, pitcher, and then all 3 outfielders. So 7 of those right there are all seniors. So. Good problem to have right now. Well, next year won't be as good a problem.
And something that and we'll talk about that later because I think that's interesting topic to talk about. Something I would like to say though, most all these kids that we mentioned have a place to go to play their college ball next year. Is that right?
Out of those right there, we've got 4 of those signed, and then a couple more are going to have opportunities if they want to go play. Yeah. And, we try our best. That's one of the main things we try to do is reach out to as many coaches that if they want to go, we try to get them opportunities. And most of it's them getting themselves opportunities by being talented. But the more we can do for them, if they want to do that, we try to help that opportunity happen.
Now, there's some bright young talents coming up, too. Now, don't just think they're going to leave the cupboard empty, next year. There's some tell us a little bit about some of your young players in the program.
Yeah, well, we've got a really special freshman class. That class is our bigger class. They've had a lot of success together, but then
see, people don't realize that you get. Well, no, I shouldn't say that because you go out and if you don't have them, you go get them. and I reckon you do that with this rescheduling. But tell us about these young players.
We'll get Will Rice back, who's thrown a lot of innings for us. He's only a sophomore on the mound,
and he's going to get stronger.
That's right. And then Cade Brookins, who's a true freshman, has thrown, and kid's been up to 84 as a freshman.
Now,
And,
I've heard this. Now, this is another one that got a daddy that knows what he's doing, that works with him at home at different times. And, you know, there's most every one of these kids, they've got somebody working with them, you know, outside the rank.
Yeah, which this isn't a secret, but Troy's a baseball town, and these kids love baseball, and they're there all the time and find ways to get better.
So his daddy, you know, has won a lot of championships himself in rec ball and all that. But how good is he? Is he going to be if nothing happens, going to be a great one?
Absolutely. I think he's 6'1" right now as a freshman, and he's
going to be huge.
He's got the frame to do it. But those two right there they've thrown a lot of meaningful innings, Will Rice and Cade Brookins. So I expect them to slide right into being our 1 and 2 next year and being ready to go. And then we've got Payne Jeffcoat's only a sophomore. He's our DH right now.
Now, will he pitch too, you think?
He might try. He's not near what Press is.
But now he's a good basketball player too.
He is,
and so just another good athlete coming around the bend.
Yeah, he's he's 6'4",
and of course his dad is an excellent coach.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
really.
well, they get it
Russ,
from home too.
Russ, why are you not coaching basketball, man?
I told him that was one thing. I said, don't even think about asking me about a round ball. That's preseason for baseball.
Yeah.
So
I wish I would get Will to go out for basketball. He's
6'2",
and he was real good when he was younger.
He plays pickup basketball all the time in the gym. I'm trying to get him to come out for football as well. So we're working on.
He's a good all-around athlete.
That's right.
I was watching some kid the other day. I was out there. And I'm talking about he was big and he was strong, and I don't know if he graduates tonight, but he was shooting basketball, and everything was behind the three. Everything was just foot. Great shooter. Who was that kid?
If it was going in every time, it probably wasn't one of ours.
But he was a big kid, and maybe he was probably senior.
The cross kids only play basketball.
That's true. Yeah, if it was him, it would.
Never go in.
Yeah, that's one that goes in pretty consistent. They've got a really special junior class in basketball as well, coming back for next year, and obviously Cross leads the way with that.
Yeah,
he's a basketball only guy. Cross works out with the baseball team, which is funny, but he's only plays basketball.
Yeah, but I could see him playing other sports, and not hurting really.
Yeah, I try to. I played 3 at a small school. You want every kid to play as many as possible that they could help and get something out of. So we try to get them.
Exactly
I'm glad to hear that. I think that if you can play more than one, play them. I mean, you're going to have great memories the rest of your life from playing those games.
Yeah, I tell more stories about Friday Night Lights than I do Division I baseball.
Yeah,
so
exactly right. Yeah, and of course. This is a big week, and to go up against a team like Bessemer. Now we're talking about they're talented too. They've got a couple of lights out pitchers. Is that right?
That's right, and that I fully expect. Last year they had 6 kids sign college scholarships, and this year I think they've got probably 4 to 5 of those kids. So you don't beat. They're a good team, and you don't beat good teams if you play bad. So
tell us a little bit about their coach and his background. Do you know?
Yeah, it's a little bit. He was their assistant last year. Their head coach from last year left and went to Oxford High School.
Good program too.
Very good, very good. And it was Jeremy Brown who was their coach last year. He played at Alabama. He did a really good job. And now Coach Cagle is their coach now, Josh Cagle, and he played college ball as well. And he's familiar with their program, and he knows what he's doing. He's going to have them ready to go, and we fully expect it to be a.
It seems like y'all have your kids.
Jeremy Brown's a pretty kind of famous. He's in a famous movie called Moneyball.
He was.
With Brad Pitt.
Yep.
Huh.
He's the guy in the movie. He was like, wasn't he a first-round pick with the Oakland A's?
Yeah, yes, he was.
Yeah, he's the guy that hits the home run. He doesn't realize it's a home run. He slides into second, doesn't he?
Yep, that's him.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was a coach there. I knew Josh Wright, the football coach. I'd met him several times.
Yeah.
He went to Tuscaloosa Academy, though, didn't he?
That's right. I think his brother is now Bessemer's. It's either brother or some family member is now Bessemer Academy.
His brother coached for Saban for a while, and then went to the New York Giants. Jody Wright, I think is his name.
Okay, now Jonathan Wright is the one at Bessemer now, so that's.
That's right.
So they've been around ball, and they're not going. when they see our pitcher on the mound, they're not gonna freeze up.
No, they'll be all these kids play the summer ball circuit, and they've seen good arms, and they'll be shot.
We love to jump around on this show, and let me ask you this: we haven't brought it up, but I have been amazed at this thing. If they do get on first base against Drew, they're so afraid their runner will get picked off is that they don't get off with but a half a strike.
Yeah, and it's warranted because his
what
move
makes
is really
this
good.
guy? I mean, only Whitey Ford, the great Whitey Ford, had a move like this. I've said, where did he get this?
That's one of those other things that he's just practiced over time, and he's
I
had
mean,
it since he was in eighth grade.
he is deadly. If he was playing against the University of Alabama in baseball or Auburn or whatever, he would pick the guy off.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, he's a lot of deception that he's going to the plate, and then he can pick off, and he's usually really accurate.
He's supposed to have one eye looking this way, one eye looking that way.
That's what it seems like, but he's done a really
Have
good
you ever
job.
seen anything like that?
It's the best high school one I've seen.
Yeah.
Does he ever get called for a balk?
He's never that I've seen been called for one, which is impressive. But also with a two-man umpiring crew, you can get away with some things. Not saying he does, but you can get away with some things that you might not could with a three-man.
Have you ever heard of a coach hollering across the way saying, "Hey, don't let him cut off. Don't let him." What kind of?
There's some people that'll, like you said, they'll stay one step from the bag and not allow you to pick off. Period. And which that. In our minds, that helps us.
Oh, it helps you tremendously, especially on the double play ball.
That's right.
I mean, the double play ball, it gives you a tremendous advantage.
Yeah.
You know?
And some people have stole on him because sometimes he'll just go straight to the plate and they'll just go first move, and if he doesn't read.
How about the move to second base? Does he have a move to second base?
He does. It's not near as effective. It doesn't catch him by surprise as much.
But so I've told her.
So even in the playoffs, though, you only have two umpires?
No, we've got three-man crews for the umpires, and we had them for some regular season. But that's just over time. I'm saying if he were to do some things like potentially balk, then two-man umpire crew wouldn't catch him.
Give the audience a little. We got a baseball out here now, and show us the fingers and how he throws the ball.
So just he goes right there with his fastball, just a four-seam normal grip, and then he'll go circle change with his changeup, and he just gets there and pronates that way to create the depth.
But can't the batter see him go to that? I mean, can't they see him?
Not quick enough.
Is he making the move here or here?
He goes. He's over the top with his hand.
That's right.
He comes back down and then he gets it out and goes. But
he has one of those old timey windups like where he comes way up here like this, and then he comes down to the face.
Yeah, good.
Who does that look like there?
A bunch of them.
No, one of the great pros over the face, Mike. The Big Hurt. You know,
you talking about Randy Johnson?
Yeah, Randy Johnson. He got a little Randy Johnson look about it.
That's a lot of credit there.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, he does and the changeup's so good it looks like a fastball and then it just runs away from you.
Yeah.
So.
And of course we'll start. We'll start our
start Jeffcoat.
Jeffcoat, and then come back with.
We've had a lot of discussion last year about how you do the rotation, and I always thought, you got this, once in a lifetime pitcher, you start him first. But then I started thinking about it. I said, no, he's going to pitch one game anyway. You might as well pitch him the second game if you got another good first pitcher.
I'm going to ask you all right now. You were showing me how the two-seam, and then the show it one more time.
Well, that you get your two-seam there, which Drew throws a lot more four seams, and but both do have him and Press have the ability to throw the two-seam.
See, I always thought that you practically, I'm not a pitcher at all, but I always thought he actually threw with all five fingers.
That you can throw a changeup like that.
That's what I said.
Yeah, you can throw it. And some people kill the circle change there. You try to create depth this way as well as not just down.
Now something else now too, ladies and gentlemen, is now he just threw a 98 mile an hour fastball, far strike, and now he's got he pretty much can come back with a fastball, or he'll go back with his changeup and show us what he does there.
Changeup.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the changeup, he goes circle here, and then he gets over and he pronates that way to create the downward and away from.
But again, though, it's important to know. Now, let me tell you something. If I'm that batter and I know he's going to throw a changeup, well, I got a little advantage now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you do, and a lot of teams try to take away the changeup and try to hit the fastball or the breaking ball now. But with his changeup, as much as it runs away from you, if he executes it right, you're not hitting it. It's just not.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to keep bringing this up over and over with his pitching, and just of course outstanding, but the last thing I was wanting to ask you was.
Well, I tell you, for people that haven't had a chance to see this team, come out now and support them, support the program, support them against Bessemer, and then cross your fingers and hope they win that series, and then support them in Montgomery, because I mean you're going to be seeing some really, really, really good players.
Yeah. This year's the first, believe it or not, the first year we've hosted a semifinal playoff game in like 5 years.
But now, though, one thing about it, you got to worry about getting the field ready and all that, and worry about the rain and whatever,
There's definitely some baggage that comes along with hosting, but I'd much rather worry about that and be at my home field than have to travel.
Yeah, exactly.
It seems like your players have stayed humble and hungry and not got cocky throughout these years of success.
Well, we try to, biggest thing I preach now is that we take it a day at a time. Give me your best day today at practice. Give me your best day the day of the game. Don't think forward, don't think backwards, because it doesn't matter. All that matters is where your feet are, and if we can that's a hard mindset to have, but if you can have that mindset, then you're going to be okay. And a lot of our guys have bought into that. So. And
again, we don't talk enough about Stallworth in the first game. I mean,
not Stallworth, Jeff Coat.
Oh no, excuse me, Jeff Coat.
Yeah, I wish I had Stallworth back.
Yeah, but the Jeff Coat is as good as they is in private schools.
Yeah, he's his fastball will throw anywhere from 86 to 90.
So he's a power pitcher.
Yeah, he is a power pitcher. His stuff could beat anybody in the state in any classification on any day.
So you feel like he's going to go out there and win that game for you.
There's not a time I don't put him on the mound that I don't think they're going to have success. Obviously, they can be beat. That's the game. It's the game. You got to execute. But his ability and his preparation, if he does what he's supposed to do, I have as much confidence in him as anybody.
Well, that's great.
All right, so your coaching staff, I know your brother plays a big role, Ross.
Yes.
Who else is on your coaching staff?
Hunter Mann also he works with our hitters a lot, and then Coach Nate Renfro, who is our JV head coach, who played at Pike and then Southern Union, he helps on varsity as well, and then Charlie Schofield as well, which is Coach Schofield's first year with baseball. But those five kind of make it up, and we work really good together. And I'm glad you brought them up, because I tell people all the time, without them, without support system, none of this is possible, and it doesn't work. So they deserve a ton of credit.
And then you got all these guys that coach these boys at supper time too.
That's right. There's those five coaches, and there's about 30 more.
And at Pike, that's the truth. I mean, they're so knowledgeable. These parents are so knowledgeable, and it wouldn't bother you to know that if there's a certain thing that one of the players needs, one of these parents could help them probably.
Yeah, that's right. There's some good knowledge, baseball knowledge involved for sure.
Yeah.
Not my brother Bobby. They're counting on you.
What will you do after baseball season? I asked your dad the other day, will y'all have any kind of spring football, or will that just not happen?
Well, which at Pike in general, I think a lot of small schools fall with this, but Pike, because of the baseball runs we've had, the spring football is kind of hit or miss depending. I think we're going to do an in-house spring as soon as the season ends, whenever that is. We won't play a spring game, but we'll go through some install stuff and get some work done. So a mini spring, I guess, is what you could call it. That way we do.
Are you going to be able to retain your staff pretty much from last year?
I think every one of them are back. I think except for one right now. DC OC is going to stay the same. We've added a couple in there as well. position coaches, but everybody else is going to stay. And I try to keep it as normal as possible.
A good friend of yours did a great job at Goshen, Avant, and of course y'all grew up together pretty much, did you?
Yeah, I played second, he played short stop at Pike his senior year, and we played all the way growing up together. And
how good was he?
He was one of the most special athletes to come through Pike County. So
he played at Alabama. Started at Alabama, Mike, didn't he? Four straight years, didn't he?
I think 2 years. I know he had some injuries.
Yeah.
But he could fly.
He could. He was very, very good.
A guy like, what I'm saying, he could steal a lot of bases.
Yeah. And Chandler was another one of those kids that anytime the field was open, he's there. He would hit before school, after.
And I would think that Nelson, if he had a hero, it would have probably been.
I'm not sure how old Drew was when he was playing, but he should have followed that career closely.
Well, how fun is that going to be for you that you can finally play these guys now? You can play Chandler at Goshen, you can play Chase at Charles Henderson.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's one of the most. I don't want to look forward, period, but I'm really excited about that opportunity. I think it's special, and it'll be a really, really nice, fun time for both of us, and something that's never been done, obviously. But I can't wait for it.
Well, I tell you what, you've proven so much to me playing some of these teams like Pensacola Catholic, about one of the best programs in Florida, and I like to tell that story. They beat you at Riddle Pace Field 5-2. Even beat our pitcher, Nelson at that game. That's probably the only game he lost, wasn't it?
One more. He lost a team out of South Carolina.
Yeah, but then he comes back and they bust down the Enterprise. You had no idea you got the game. You got to work. Tell us what happened.
So we were supposed to play in a tournament in Mississippi that weekend. Weather was bad. We didn't go to Mississippi. Then we got into another tournament, which was an ASA tournament. Well, that one got rained out. So we just wanted to play, and I take on the idea, anybody, anytime, anywhere. And they called and needed a game, and I was like, absolutely. Very rarely do you get a chance to avenge a loss. And, so we went down to Enterprise, and it was a really tight game, and until we kind of, some things fell our way, and we clicked and had a few big hits, and we ended up beating them 16-5.
16-5. They're one of the top programs in Florida, and then got revenge from getting beat in Troy.
That's right. And
what did their coach have to say about that? They were all a little shocked, which they were coming off of about a 5-game road trip. And they were a good program, great program.
They are. They're loaded. I tell people, outside of that team from South Carolina, that was all Power 5 signees. That Pensacola Catholic was the best team we've seen, and that day things fell right. The ball bounced our way. We had some big hits, and the score, I looked up and I didn't even realize what the score was, how it had gotten to.
I think that's so smart. You playing teams like that and getting confidence in your own ball club, and that's exactly what it developed.
Well, if Pike can get past Bessemer, which we're not going to take that for granted, but gosh, the other team waiting for y'all is ranked ahead of Pike Liberal Arts. Pike Liberal Arts is not the number 1 team in the state of Alabama.
That's right.
What do your players think about that?
There's one ranking that matters to me and us, and it's the last one. So Glenwood is who he's speaking on, and Glenwood's as good as they've been in a long time.
And guess who Glenwood's top star athlete was?
Tim Hudson.
That's Tim Hudson of the Atlanta Braves.
Mm-hmm. And they do a really good job.
Surely you're not going to have time to coach American Legion this year, are you?
that's a argument for me and my brother to duke out. But I told him I probably wasn't. I do want to be around some. I just enjoy being around those guys and the relationships. But it's why I'm where I'm at. American Legion baseball is why I'm where I'm at, and so I do want to be able to be around it. But I don't see it being possible for my own health.
Will Ross be the head coach of American Legion?
He's kind of taken over last year. He kind of took over the off the field stuff, scheduling, dealing with the budget and all that. All the fun stuff, and I just kind of coached last year, and I think now he's kind of taken that program and really ran with it. He's done a really good job of schedules.
Well, it helps you with that program. You got a guy doing pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, well, it's good to. He's a familiar face. He knows what's going on with that. We share a lot of the same beliefs when it comes to coaching. So we've actually grown that program to add a couple more teams this year as well. So we're excited about it.
It enhances your program tremendously. And of course, once you go into this public school program, will the public school program count as scheduled next year?
We'll say that again.
No. I mean, will you actually play the Arringtons and the people like that?
Yeah,
the Goshen,
yes, sir.
Starting next year.
It'll start next year. The thing we're waiting on is once baseball season ends, they'll create the region for baseball, and we're not sure what that'll be yet. But we'll definitely, I'm talking to Chase already a little while back about the possibility of playing early in the year, about coming to our tournament, us going to theirs. I want to fill the schedule with all the teams local. I think it's going to be really cool for the community.
Boy.
And then branch out to a couple more in some bordering towns and areas.
Yeah, your big issue is going to be football scheduling because you're not going to be in an area.
That's right.
Is that correct?
That's very much correct. It was the most stressful part about this move was the football schedule, which we have 10 games. It is not we're going to play up a lot of those games. We're traveling to Georgia for a couple of those games as well.
Are you serious? Now tell me who you're going to play over there. You better be careful.
No, well, we're going to be tested, and there's no doubt. And by tested, I mean very, very much tested.
Georgia plays real good football.
They do, and they have a ton of nice facilities. And like Bowden County, Georgia is one that we're going to. They're 2A in Georgia. 2A in Georgia is more like a 3A.
What town would that be?
I'm not real positive. No, Bowden County's all.
All right, Bowden County. Okay.
But then Brooks County, Georgia, and anybody that's familiar with Georgia football, Brooks County won the 1A state championship in Georgia. They're going to be really good. And then we're playing Port St. Joe out of Florida. Wow. So we're branching out, and we had to do that for these first 2 years because, like you mentioned, we're not in a region for the first two. Very unique opportunity. But you were able.
That was very important to build a schedule.
Had to. That was one of the. Whenever we made the move, that the HSA told us they didn't think we could make a 10-game schedule, and they said if you can't, then you probably need to wait. Well, the coaching staff and myself took it upon ourselves to reach out to. We reached out to hundreds of schools to try to get this done.
Did the two, the Alabama Independent School and the Alabama High School Athletic Association, was it smooth, the transition?
Yeah, well, they didn't deal with each other at all, but the HSA was extremely helpful to us in the move. So I tell people it was effortless for us as far as we met every requirement they had. The hardest part was the football scheduling, and we knew it's South Alabama. If you don't have a football schedule, you don't have you can't do it. So we knew that was going to be the hardest part. Then they came and did a site visit on campus, and they raved over our facilities, and then after that,
is it a chance we could actually play Goshen or Pike County or somebody like that next year?
Not in football, but Goshen will be in our basketball region next year.
Dad, they can play for championships in every sport except football.
So every sport we're good to play for a championship, even volleyball, which is a fall sport. Except for football, so
this is bound to enhance Pike Liberal's total curriculum. I think it's going to be a wonderful thing for Pike Liberal.
Yeah, and this is something that when I'm long gone past this was the right move because it was it's going to build our school up financially. You're going to be able to do things right here in your own area to play teams and to have we're not traveling 2.5 hours on a Tuesday night.
I don't know if it'll be called Pike Academy or Pike Liberal Arts, but either way, we're ready to go.
That's right. I don't know if the name change is coming anytime soon. We'll say that for a couple more years.
I guess once y'all compete, I'm sure eventually y'all look back years later and think, if we would have made the jump, with all these great baseball teams and football teams, I know in baseball y'all could have probably won some state championships for sure.
Yeah, and I think that for sure is one of the things that you're going to look back at, and we talk about it now, because when it comes down to it, I especially with baseball, I see the summer circuit. I know good baseball, bad baseball, and some of these teams we've had can compete with just about anybody. I don't care what classification or area or region, but you're going to look back and you miss those opportunities to do that and put that out there to play. But moving forward, we do have some good young talent coming up that's going to get the chance to now, and kind of put yourself out there and kind of see where we stand.
How does it work recruiting wise? You are able to recruit athletes, is that right?
The word recruit is, I don't know. I mean, you can't.
Or invite a young athlete to come to your school.
Well, my phone has never contacted a kid first, and it never will. Now, if a kid shows up on campus and wants to come to school, I'll sell my program. So that's one of those things that it's a very false narrative. Now, kids talk to kids all the time.
Exactly.
That's we've lost multiple kids to local schools in the past few years because they weren't happy with something going on, and that's fine. And I tell them all the same. I wish you nothing but the best. And, so
I agree 100%.
But you can't. We can never reach out. Period. First to anybody, and like I said, I don't. But as far as kids talking to kids, and they have to. The difference is you can't move. So say a kid wants to come as a senior from a local school, you can't do that anymore. So there is more rules on that, and that helps both schools.
And then, of course, Pike Liberal Arts has academic rules, and there's things that have to mend with the total environment of the school.
That's right. Well, you have to pass through the board, and you have to be in good standing with your grades, and then no discipline issues. And it's not to the. I mean, if you get detention a couple of times, you're okay. It's just like severe discipline stuff. But
so would y'all be considered a big 2A when y'all make the move next year, or would y'all be like right?
I think we're middle of the pack.
2A?
I think we're middle of the pack. Yeah, I think we're. I don't think we were at a threat of moving up or going down, from what I was told. And we have the multiplier as well. So that I think if you take the multiplier out, we're probably on the lower end actually.
Well, I tell you what,
as far as like a graduating class in a 2A, like a Pike Liberal Arts this year, how many kids would y'all have in a graduating class?
Probably 40-ish, right?
Which is a pretty big class.
Yeah. It's not. I mean, and you could get give or take on that, and it just depends. This class is a bigger one, and you might have a smaller one after it, or so that we're sitting there in that area. Which is, I think we signed in all sports this year. I think we're at like 13 signees in a class of almost not even 40. So
that's amazing.
It's pretty good numbers on the athletic side to get kids to the next level.
Well, then you think of half those students are girls. I mean,
and we had a girl sign with Nebraska to play golf. We had a girl sign with Shelton State to play softball. So they're contributing a little bit to that as well.
And congratulations to your golf team. Won another championship.
Yeah, that team's really good.
Who was that? Was that Coach Allen coaching them?
That is, yeah. And he's as good as gold. And
we love him.
He does a really good job. So I was pumped for him.
Yeah.
Well, I did a story for Bobby's newspaper after one of the state championships, and I actually counted up all the students at Pike Liberal Arts that had been on state championship teams. Then I counted the ones that had been on 2 state championship teams, then 3, then 4. It was amazing.
You're right. And you don't have enough fingers, dude.
Well, I played we won 2 games as a football team my junior year, and I think 1 as a sophomore. So I was able to. And then my senior year in baseball, we weren't very good. My junior year, we played for a state championship and lost in it. But so I was there in the dog days as well. So it's been up and down.
Another thing about baseball, do you think you'll play go up against your buddy over across the way at Charles Henderson?
I hope so. Yeah,
Well,
we've talked a little bit about that, and I think playing at Riddle Pay Steel would be a cool deal.
Oh, that'd be a big gate. You're right.
And he's
you can go play Ponder at Pike Road.
Yeah,
oh boy, I let it do. You and Ponder.
He's on that list of teams I want to play as well. Close proximity, good baseball, and a good friend.
Since we're here, I love to move back and forth on different individuals. What makes Ponder the coach he is?
Well, he knows his stuff for one, but he has a really, really major intensity to win. I mean, he wants to win, and that it flows through his players.
And he's a very humble guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's as laid back as he could be.
Well, he's one that anything he tells you, he can do times 10. I mean, he can do it. He's one of those freak athletes, just freak people. But he has such a want to and drive to win, and it kind of filters and flows through his players, and that's kind of
We'll probably see him at the ballpark, don't you think?
I hope so. I hope he makes the trip. I haven't got to talk to him lately, but I do hope he gets to make the trip.
Yeah.
I owe him a ton of credit for where any previous coaches came through. I owe a ton of credit for.
Well, I wanted to ask you, who were some of the coaches that had the most influence on your coaching philosophy?
Well, John Rushing would be at the top of the list.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned him. I know John Rushing, and he did add a lot to Troy, Pike County, area-wide baseball.
Yeah, whenever he brought American Legion back, post 70 back, he asked me to play as a junior in high school. I blew out my arm that year, so I couldn't play. So he let me coach a 15U team as a senior in high school, or as a junior in high school. So I coached that team, and that was my first coaching gig. And he let me do it. And then came back, I played for him as a senior, and then he let me coach ever since then in the summer.
Now, see, people don't realize this. Post 35 or 37 out of Tuscaloosa, 34 out of Tuscaloosa, might have been the best American Legion program ever in the state of Alabama.
Well, how did he end up in Pike County?
Well, he moved down here where their baseball was.
Well, he got the director of baseball ops at Troy, and so he took over that in the summer. He was the ops guy there, and then took over the post 70 in the summer.
Yeah, and of course, I'm sure you've heard from Coach Pierce a few times.
Oh yeah.
I know y'all are still good friends and everything, and you've been around a lot of baseball, good people, but you know what? You've been around one of the very best in Billy Hickson.
Yeah,
I got a coach in Billy Hickson.
He was a good one. He won some Reg League championships.
I sit there and watch you walk in the ballpark, and he has a lot of knowledge of baseball.
He does, and he's pretty even minded with it. Yeah. He doesn't. I credit both my parents for never being that parent that was over involved to this fact of.
I want an opportunity to go eat a steak or eat some barbecue at your barn down there. You've televised it already, your barn.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he's watching, so you need to tell him you want to invite. He'll get you out there.
You might make the first page of that.
Coach Meade and Troy's new staff. I know Godwin was on the previous staff. Have you interacted with those guys much?
Yeah, we talk a lot. I think it's an awesome staff. I think they got a really good energy about them, and obviously they know what they're doing. But I think the energy they bring is really good, and we have conversations a lot, and I try to pick their brain on some things they do, and I think they're going to be really good for Troy.
It doesn't hurt Troy.
How surprised are you about Rigsby Mosley now being a Saturday starter? I mean, you played with him, I think he's been there for 5 years.
Have you ever seen that?
I did. I was very shocked. Not that his pitching ability was bad, but there's no shot Rigsby Mosley hits for me every day.
He was the best. I thought he was the best hitter on the team, and they move him to a left-handed pitcher, and that's the rest of his history. Gosh, he's loaded, and he has really helped this team.
But he came to Troy as a pitcher. He was 92 from the left side, and then he had one outing where his velocity he couldn't handle the workload, I think, but his velocity just was down, so they just let him hit, and he became an All-American hitter. And then this year he's came back, and he wasn't really finding it at the plate, and then they needed some arms, and he stepped right into but knowing Rigsby, nothing shocks me that Rigsby does, because he's just that kind of person and guy. But
he's one of my all-time favorites. He's a great person, and he loves to be a big part of his team.
He is. Anything, if they would ask him to catch, he would have got back there and caught. He was doing whatever he needed to do.
Right.
I mean, it's an All-American hitter, and now he's a pitcher, so it's a awesome deal there. But I was very shocked when that first happened.
Okay, now.
Yeah, I mean, I was telling Dad that he started pitching, I guess, on like the Tuesday game or Wednesday game, and then now he's a weekend starter. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, he's a special talent. So I hope he can continue the success.
Well, I want to mention Troy Bank and Trust Company, the only bank you'll ever need, and we'll be right back. I say that.
I think Steve might be over there working on the coffee.
Okay, we'll stay with it. We'll stay with our guest today is Rush Hickson, the outstanding baseball coach.
Let's recap the highlight though. Pike Liberal Arts versus Bessemer Academy tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Doubleheader. Semifinals of the. Semifinals of the state playoffs, so lose and end of the season. So
bring your night gap. If it starts at 5, that game might not be over till 12.
Yeah, I hope it's over earlier, but we moved it back in hopes to let everybody get a chance to get there. And
I like it. I like it.
Under the
how much is a ticket for?
It's $8 at the gate. Yep, and first grade and up is all $8, and so. You do buy them at the gate. Still, we don't have the electronics.
What kind of concession stand y'all have? Y'all got some good.
Yeah, they do a good job with it. Nothing out of the ordinary.
But
generic
you
ballpark
can be very aware that it'll be for supper. You'll eat supper if you stay for all of it. And I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
It's going to be fun. The atmosphere should be awesome. So.
And there'll be some good baseball. And you feel good about it? How your team is going to?
Yeah. I think the preparation they've done to this point. It's like I told them yesterday at practice. Like nothing you've done. We're not changing anything right now. We prepare for this week one.
I want to tell the audience that might not know this. Tell me if I'm wrong, Coach. Drew pitches a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, against Lee Scott, and he strikes out 18 consecutive batters.
That's what I was going to bring up, and I forgot.
He walked your dad said that he walked the first 2 batters and then struck out 18 in a row, which I have never. First, have you ever heard of anybody striking out 18 batters in a row?
No, I haven't. I'll be honest with you. It's not fair to Drew because his expectation's so high. I didn't really even acknowledge it after the game because I'm a very team-oriented guy. Like as long as Pike wins and the team wins, then the credit I don't really care where it goes to. But I had to text Drew after that. I said, "Look, man," I didn't realize how good what you just did was. It was incredible. It was his stuff was as good that day. He was up to 93 from the left side, 3-pitch mix. Whenever he wanted it, and he did. The team we played was not 18 strikeouts in a row bad. I mean,
I know.
They should have.
Lee Scott,
Lee Scott.
They'll remember that. You hit them.
Well, somebody needed to contact Sports Illustrated or The Athletic or ESPN because that just 8 striking out. It's a no-hitter, but no-hitters happen often. Mm-hmm. But not every out strikeout. And then to finish up. Tell me if I'm wrong. Drew gets the start against Clark Academy, and he goes 5 innings, and he only strikes out 10 batters in 5 innings. So in 5 innings and 6 innings, that's 11 innings, he had struck out 28 batters.
Yeah. And he was upset that he didn't strike out more against Clark Prep, and I had to tell him, look, man, that's not normal. You don't need to do that. I mean, I'd love for you to do it, but don't focus only on that.
Does he try to throw pitches for strikes, or does he pitch around the plate, or what?
He's pretty much around the plate. He tries to. He's got a very good feel for the strike zone. And he tries to. When he's really good and he's at his best, he's able to dot the fastball.
And he stays with pretty much the same movement, wind up. And you don't see that.
I've heard of a couple of softball pitchers that are overpowering and dominant that have struck out every batter in the game. But I swear, in a high school or college baseball game, I have never heard of one pitcher that struck out every single.
What we're talking about, he walked the first 2 batters he faced. Is that right? Mm-hmm. And then he retired the next 18 batters in a row, which is phenomenal. And
all by strikeout.
It would have been a perfect record, but he walked those 2 batters.
I had to make a mound visit after the first 2 batters. And he actually got sped up in his warm-up routine because the doubleheader happened quicker than we thought, and he got sped up. And so I thought he got out there and he was trying to do a little too much early, so we just calmed the pace down, and he went on to strike out 18. So.
I noticed the team from Florida tried to get to site. You can't get to him with all this rah-rah stuff and all this stuff that you see. But a lot of teams try to disturb him a little bit, don't they?
Absolutely, and which he's played the travel ball. He's played in the summertime, and then since
was he real good when he was playing baseball in Atlanta and all that?
Oh yeah, he's exceptional. His summer numbers have been exceptional, but he gets a lot of that type of energy in the summer as far as people trying to knock him off, and that's why I try to tell him not to get involved in all that, and he doesn't for the most part. He stays the course.
Seems like y'all done a good job of managing all your pitchers. I mean, they're not you're not throwing too many innings. And
do you count pitches?
Oh yeah. We keep on a strict pitch count early in the year, and then we build it up through the year, and we try our hardest not to do things to where, like, say a kid pitches, then put him at shortstop or anything.
All right, tell me your pitching order. If you just down the line on your what pitches on your staff.
Well, you got Drew Nelson, Press Jeffcoat, Darrell Lee, Will Rice, Cade Brookins.
Those 5 are very good, aren't they?
Those 5 have probably thrown the most innings for us, and all gotten some starts, and all been really good for us. And then the next wave of guys is more of my true bullpen guys, I feel like, and all of these other guys play positions.
Now, who are some of those guys?
Skylar Kidd, Arden Weiser, Casey Bradford.
And all these guys can pitch.
8 pitches they can pitch.
They can pitch. Some throw, some pitch, but they've all gotten in and gotten outs in actual games.
That's fun.
So.
That's fun. But now, once
What do
again,
you do when a parent calls and says, "Coach, you're not playing Johnny enough"?
I imagine that.
I don't answer those phone calls. If
Comes with the territory.
it does, you're going to get that. But if it, and some I've had people have conversation that they have good conversation.
Isn't
with
it
parents.
unreal what some people can do to that baseball right there? So isn't it unreal how
Let me see that thing. I used to throw it like that. Now, I wish I had a pitching coach like Rush, but I never even thought about all this stuff he's talking about.
Russ.
So do you what do you do at Pine Liberal Arts? Are you coaching? Are you teaching? Are you a PE teacher? Or do you teach a class?
No, so I taught a class the first semester, and then when I became the AD, I dropped that class. And so pretty much as soon as I get there in the morning, I'm doing. Sometimes I'll set aside the morning for football stuff or baseball. I mean, there's not a ton of downtime when it comes to doing the football and the baseball and the.
And you got to
every
get
other
the
sport.
fields ready. I mean, you got a lot of responsibilities.
Yeah. And then
he threw out something talking about scheduling for the first public school football season. Said he had to talk to 100 schools to get a 10-game schedule.
Yeah, and I wish I was exaggerating on that.
Did you really?
Oh, it was.
Most people, some people just hang up on you or what?
Well, most of them all had their schedules filled. We thought it was going to be easy because Bayside Academy was the first one we called, and they agreed. They had an opening.
That's a good program.
It is very good, and they so those
are the Watsons still down there?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but
No, the Watsons were at Mobile Christian.
Okay,
but.
And then Ronnie Cottrell took the job.
Correct, which they, we're playing them as well. Mobile Christian, a really good program.
You're playing them next
Y'all playing Mobile Christian this year?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow, they're loaded.
Yeah, and I think got a 4-star DN as well, so that'll be a good one to prepare for.
Do you have your front back, your defensive front?
Most of them, I guess.
Mike, those boys hadn't seen a front like this guy at Pike, like they've got at Pike Liberal. I'm telling you.
Don't let them see this tape.
Only problem is they don't have a defensive line coach at Pike Liberal Arts.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you did lose your all-pro.
That was the one coach we lost off the staff.
I'm kidding around about the defensive line coach. The defense coordinator knows a little bit about defensive line play.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
but we're
talking about the great Cornelius Griffin.
Yeah, which Coach Griff is the one that's not going to. He's not coaching this year with us. So.
Oh, he's not.
No,
okay.
Yeah, he's in the works of building a new house and doing some other things.
He's a great guy though. Great for the kids, wasn't he?
Oh man, Coach Griff's amazing. I talk to him every time I get a chance to talk. Don't even have to be ball, just to talk.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's exciting times out at Pike Liberal Arts School, and again, they're going to start at 5 and play a double header, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And we appreciate so much Russ Hickson, the football and the baseball coach at Pike Liberal Arts. Again, something else I was going to mention back when y'all talking about baseball. You know, now there's a rule is a coach can actually gather with his team helmets and shoulder pads after 1 week, the first week in June. That means that you legally can be coaching your team. I think that is the worst thing in the world for a kid. I mean, give them a break. Give them a break. Hey, this kid wants to go to the beach on a vacation with mom and daddy.
Yeah, and
you know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. Well, you have to have a balance, and we'll give off to start the summer as soon as school ends. We'll give off the first week and a half, and they'll have some stuff scheduled throughout the summer. But then we'll hit.
Michael, you asked him what he's gonna do. Michael,
there's no way I would have played if we just started practice in June.
Yeah,
Michael, it's called 7-on-7. and this guy's going to be busy with stuff on
Well,
Sunday.
you got to lift weights and run, and
It's going to be hard to find anything to do with baseball after the summer starts. Don't you agree?
You're right. You're right about it. Maybe we'll give off some weekends for football, so I'll have some time to spare.
I guess the 4th of July you might give off that week.
Yeah. They'll get that. There'll be some mixed days off.
And thank goodness he likes to barbecue and have a decent time, go fishing a while and so forth.
There's no hunting season in the summer though, so I don't know.
Oh boy, and he was born and raised out in the middle of a cow pasture.
So your sister's
right?
a cheerleading coach too, isn't she?
She is. Yeah, that's cheerleading. We could talk a whole nother hour and a half on cheerleading, so we can't open that can.
Well, y'all have the I think 7 or 8 years in a row you won the state cheerleading championship.
Yeah, you want to talk about somebody that puts in time? The cheerleading team, they're out there more than anybody. It's pretty impressive how much work they put in.
That's why they're really good. And again, we appreciate you being on our show today, and we've got a lot to talk about. We're gonna run this show numerous times during the summer to to give people an opportunity to see what's going on out at Pike, other than the.
Also,
the
they rerun it at 1:30 in the afternoon. If anybody missed it, if you want, it's kind of an overview, not just of Pike baseball, but of all sports.
Exactly right. You got to be excited, man. Not especially for baseball right now.
Yeah.
That's where your excitement lies. But your whole year is going to be full of excitement.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I try to be where my feet are now and focus on the baseball, but it's hard not to look forward.
But
to
you know
next year.
what? When you call those 100 coaches, you provided a avenue of support with them on down the line.
Mm-hmm. That's right, and a lot of them would have wanted to play had their schedule not been filled.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
they knew who you were, didn't they?
Some of them did. Some of them, which it was funny hearing some of them talk about they'd mentioned, they're like, man, I watched y'all on film. Y'all's quarterback's real good. And I'm like, well, he's not coming back. So you don't have to worry about him. But, and there's a reason some of these teams didn't have games filled because they're pretty good.
Yeah.
People didn't want to play them. But.
I know. Well, you feel like you've learned a lot about football over the last few years?
I have, and I'm just scratching the surface on the learning part. And anytime I stop learning, I need to hang it up.
Let me ask you this, very important. Give me some names. I know you can't give them all, but of some people that have really meant a lot to you personally and career-wise.
I mentioned John Rushing earlier.
Yes, exactly.
Coach Alan Ponder was a big influence to me. Coach Butch Austin was a big influence to me. Coach Smart at Troy. Whenever I played. Really, any coach that I've had, I've taken. You can take good and bad from them, but you can learn what to do and what not to do. And then I'm a huge family person. My parents they're my heroes.
Yeah, that's right.
So what they've done, the example they've led for me, and the amount of sacrifice they've made.
Your granddad, your great granddad, or your granddad knew Chase Riddle real well. In fact, they were friends. They were hunting buddies, and they knew. Did he ever tell any Chase Riddle stories?
Not many. But he did a few here and there, but nothing crazy. Yeah. He probably kept his best ones to himself.
Yeah. But you've been around some good people, and you've learned from some good people, and I know you're gonna use this to your advantage one day.
Absolutely.
Well, that Pike has got the man they want running their sports program, and a school is going to go. It might not be politically correct to say it, but a school is going to go as its sports programs go. I think.
And of course, right now the main emphasis is baseball winning this state championship. In baseball, it would be the third or fourth.
Fourth in a row.
Fourth in a row.
And we're not talking this. I hate to mention this, but I guess it's the truth, and I'm a journalist too. This would be if Pike Liberal Arts wins the baseball championship. This would be six consecutive. This would be if Pike Liberal Arts wins the baseball championship. This would be 6 consecutive state championships in the boys' sports. That's not counting golf. This is just in the 3 major sports, which is unprecedented in the history of the state of Alabama. So,
of course, again,
no pressure, guys. Just
thank you,
do it.
I mean, you also had the COVID year. Y'all would have won it.
Yeah, that's the year they thought was one of their better teams as well.
This is your life, Russ Hickson, and you can watch the playback of this at 1:30 today. And of course, we're gonna run this numerous times during the summer months, and ought to be something you look forward to. We hope you've enjoyed our show, brought to you by Piggly Wiggly and a lot of sponsors, and we appreciate them so very much. And of course, Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks on the bypass. We'll see you tomorrow bright and early for Today in L.A. Have a great week.
It's easy. 29 down and drive. That's 29 down and you drive today. Or Premier will double your tax refund on a new vehicle purchase. Tax season is car season. 29 down or $99 a month and drive today or double your tax refund. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
A personal touch, a high level of trust.